Helen here with Eyes on the Game, and I'm here in beautiful California at Team Oyama Gym, being joined by the always beautiful and awesome Ashlee Evans-Smith. Now, I do know you were in Vegas this past weekend for the UFC athlete retreat. How did that go?
I've only been back for, we got back on Monday. It's Tuesday, and everyone's asking about it. And there's only one word that I can think to describe the event, and that's interesting. Very interesting, yeah. It was fun. I got to meet a lot of people that I otherwise wouldn't have. We got to interact with our former future opponents, which obviously that doesn't really happen unless it's some kind of social media trash talk. But honestly, I think it really opened your eyes to all the fighters' different personalities. You got these big guys look so tough, and then my favorite example is Gian Vellante. He's running around with his shirt open and squirting people with a squirt gun, and you're like, you're just a big kid. It was really fun, and I took a lot out of it, financially, social media wise, but also friendship wise.
Yeah. Who are some of the people that you bonded with well?
Well, I got to hang out, pretty much hang out all weekend with Tatiana Suarez. She won the Ultimate Fighter show. She's a wrestler. So I feel like wrestlers kind of migrate towards each other, but she's just a great person in general. I found out that Abel Trujillo is a vegan. I mean, I knew he was a vegan, but then you congregate towards the other vegans, Heather Clark. I had so many people that I met and had a great time with. Just meeting people and socializing and talking. Sage Northcutt, obviously, he's like the nicest person alive. So he's really great to hang out with. I'm forgetting a whole bunch of people right now, but sorry if we hung out. But yeah, just so many fighters, and you don't realize that you have a lot in common, but then you're very different too. You think if you're a fighter, then you're similar, but then there are people that you're like, how did you become a fighter? Yeah, but it was great.
And so you say it was also interesting, and there's quite a few stories out there. But what was something that was kind of interesting? I mean, before I get to the topic of the Angela and Cris.
What else was interesting besides that? I mean, like I said, it was just, I wouldn't say anything specific, like one specific event, was made it interesting. But it was just the overall, putting all the fighters together, in this situation where normally, you're on a bus, you're cutting weight, you're like, oh, there's my opponent, or, it's a different mentality. And now we got to be put in a setting with all these other fighters that are similar or not similar to us. But, it's kind of like, just relax. It's okay. You don't got to act tough. You don't got to, you know what I mean? You don't got to put on this face. It's just be yourself. And I think that was a really cool opportunity. It was interesting because you're just so used to everybody being in that fight mode. And we got to socialize with the employees. I met a lot of great UFC employees that otherwise I wouldn't have. This guy Daniel from, I believe he lives in Singapore or the Philippines, I'm forgetting, but he came out here, and unless I fight over there, I would have never met him. And it's really great to meet the people that you're working for, and they're working for you, and you're working together. So that was also another cool thing. Got to talk to Sean Shelby, and a little about fighting, a little about personal life, and you don't always get that because you're busy.
No, so it's always a cool thing, kind of in a way to kind of a vacation as well, kind of all be around each other. And I also saw Kobe Bryant was there and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I'm talking a lot. I've only really brought up the bonding aspect of it, but also obviously, the main reason I feel like we're there, another good reason was because they wanted us to educate us and inform us on life after fighting. How we can build our brand, financial planning. Give us examples of people who have gone from maybe the same situation as us and been extremely successful. And Kobe Bryant spoke, Michael Strahan, I can't believe I'm forgetting his last name. It was such a beautiful speech. Brandon, do you remember? NFL football player. And he spoke about mental illness, and there's a lot of things that a lot of people that they brought in that were really applicable. And I think they put a lot into it, obviously, I mean, Kobe Bryant, and all these guys put a lot of money, obviously, into it, So I took a lot of notes. I try to take a lot out of it, like I said, financially, not just the friendship part, but I want to build myself as a brand, Yeah, so it was great.
And then, well, speaking of the other side, though, obviously a big topic that kind of has come out of it, and also, you know, in the women's division, Cris Cyborg, Angela Magana, when they kind of, from my understanding, and you're like, oh no, this topic. But from my understanding, going into the retreat, Angela has tweeted something about her, Cris, and the Saw character, and then an altercation happened. Do you know anything more about that?
I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't present for the actual interaction, but I've seen the footage. I was at the retreat. Everyone was talking about it. And I can only give my 2 cents. You know, I can't sit here and pretend to know, like, oh, this is what happened. I just know what I saw. And I saw the video, and I know that this Angela girl was, you know, social media being an asshole, you know. And like I told you before, it's like, I'm not saying she got what she deserved. I'm just saying, if you're gonna, I'm a firm believer in you should only say on social media what you would actually say to someone's face. Yeah. Like, why pretend to be some tough guy, and then when you're in the presence of someone, you know, you're not gonna say it. So I don't think it was the best move for Cris. You know, I hope nothing happens to her legally, but at the end of the day, you know, I think this Magana girl was in the wrong. She shouldn't have said what she said, you know, and if the world was different, it would have been like, well, you got what you deserve. But now, unfortunately, I think there's a legal situation that's happening, and yeah, so I just hope that Cris is going to be okay.
Yeah, so they're saying that Cris has been charged with like misdemeanor battery. So, I mean, but in general, though, do you see that situation? And I don't know if you've seen the tweet, but do you see it kind of like Angela is a bully, or do you think she's more victim?
I think if you want to put labels on it, I'd say she's obviously a cyberbully, which is probably the worst kind of bully you can be. A cyberbully who, in actuality, when you get confronted with the person, you don't say like, because you're too much of a pussy. I'm sorry, like, probably say cuss a lot. But yeah, I think she's a cyberbully. I think that's really sad, and you know, I don't know. She didn't get a chance to throw a punch back. Maybe she woulda, she coulda. But I think Cris is the victim in this situation. Honestly, you know, she didn't start that. She never, you know, and you know, actually, I just saw the tweet that started it all, and this Magana girl goes out of her way to make Cris look dumb when she was doing a beautiful thing. Cris was volunteering at a children's hospital. How do you make that into an insult? You know, like how selfish and how like petty, you know, are you? So. Yeah. Okay. You know, I think that Cris is the victim. People might think that I'm wrong because she's the one who punched Magana, but in all actuality, like, Cris is the victim.
Yeah, like there was a reason for her.
You know, I mean, you know, I think, you know, we're adults and we're professional fighters, and we should never, you know, blur the lines between our job and reality. But yeah, it's just a really sad situation because this Magana girl kind of brought it on herself.
So have you ever met her, Magana? Because I know before when we spoke, you told me you have trained with Cris before and that she's awesome. But Angela, do you know much about her?
Yeah, that's why it's hard, you know, like, and I only really like to speak on what I actually know about, you know, and I think that's just kind of a good rule, you know, don't talk about stuff you don't know about. But I know Cris, and she's a good person, and she's sweet. And this Magana girl, I don't know her personally, but if she's anything like her social media image of herself that she portrays, then she doesn't seem like the nicest girl, you know, like, so I don't know her personally, to be honest, just what she puts out into the world. And you know, I highly doubt someone else is controlling her social media. So if she actually sent that tweet, then she's not a nice person.
Also, you said at the retreat you spoke to Sean Shelby, and I'm sure all your fans want to know. I mean, when can we expect to see you back in the octagon?
I hate this part because it's like, they're like, ooh, when? And then you're like, well, I can't spill the beads. Yeah. I'm really excited that I saw Sean there. You know, I have been, since my last fight in Kansas City, which is only a month ago, I'm just like, all right, let's take another one. But I do have a date. You know, he approached me, actually. I didn't want to bother him, so I think maybe he's just as excited as I am. So he approached me. He gave me an opponent. He gave me a date. And, you know, just if you don't know the way it works, we're not really allowed to spill the beans until they spill the beans. So I want to tell you guys, but I can't. Oh, my voice is, I'm losing my voice, by the way.
You had a good time this weekend.
It was a great weekend. Fighters really know how to celebrate, to put it mildly. But yeah, so basically I'm just going to act like I'm in fight camp right now, you know, even before the contract sign. I've been training, weight's good. I'm more than happy with the opponent, cool with the location, and as soon as I find out, I'm going to tweet it out, post it, you know, Instagram, you know, everything, so you guys know.
Yeah, do you think, I mean, is it like around summertime or fall or winter?
Look at her digging for information. She's like, just give us a clue. I can't say. I don't want to get like, it's in the future. It's coming up.
Well, you're in training camp now, basically.
I wouldn't be in the gym if it wasn't going to be like relatively soon. So.
And also, lastly, though, can you kind of, you know, describe just like your coaches and kind of how they've been, you know, part of your career so far, and being here since we're at this beautiful gym right now?
Yeah, I feel so lucky. Team Oyama has really, you know, helped me. You know, I didn't win my last fight. I lost by decision. And a lot of people might think like, oh, well, how's your training? But I know in my heart that this is where I'm going to get the best training. You know, I love my teammates, my coaches. It's good energy. You know, I think it's so refreshing when you walk into a gym and it's like, okay, we're tough, we're going to fight. But then, you know, you got like Cheeto goofing around and, you know, like just making jokes. And yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better training situation. And then this is not my only gym. I also have another gym called Classic Fight Team, and that I train at nighttime. So I'm here in the mornings. You know, I get my Team Oyama, my 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu here, and then I go to Classic Fight Team in Costa Mesa, and I do my Muay Thai there. And I wouldn't be... Obviously, you know, you're nothing without your coaches, but yeah, I'm just having a great time, and I feel like each fight I'm getting better, developing these relationships, you know, that are getting stronger with my coaches, because I really feel like you have to have that, you know, athlete-coach relationship, you know. The better you are connected with your coach, you know, you guys just you start to flow, and, you know, they can explain things to you better, and you learn more, and, you know, I feel like a sponge, you know. I've been doing this, for, you know, not forever, but it's, you know, I'm like 5-6 years professionally now. You know, if my numbers are right. But, you know, if you can be a sponge the whole time and continue to learn and be coachable, then I think that's key.
Yeah, well, I'm sure all your fans and we all enjoy watching your fights. And we can't wait to see you back in the ring, and that it should be very soon. So thank you so much for your time. And also congratulations on all your success so far.
Thank you. Thanks. I always have fun with these interviews. Thank you, Helen.